The green room smells like old sweat and cheap coffee. Madison Square Garden, September 29th, 1977. 45 minutes before the fight. The fluorescent lights buzz overhead like dying insects. One of them flickers, on, off, creating shadows that move across concrete walls, painted institutional beige. The kind of beige that belongs in prisons and psychiatric wards, places where hope goes to die. In the corner, a vending machine hums its mechanical lullaby. Red lights blinking behind scratched plexiglass. Snickers, Twix, Coca-Cola, things that belong in a different world. A normal world. Not here. Not in this room where two men prepare to try and kill each other legally. Earnie Shavers sits on a metal folding chair. He hasn't moved in 7 minutes. His back is straight. His hands rest on his thighs. His eyes are fixed on the cinder block wall across from him, like he's reading words written in a language only he understands. He wears simple black trunks and a gray hooded sweatshirt. No logos, no sponsors, no flash, just a man and his terrible purpose. On his lap sits a green apple. Not eating it, just holding it, turning it slowly between fingers that look like they were carved from mahogany. Fingers that have ended careers, ended consciousness, ended the delusion that any human jaw can withstand what those hands deliver. The apple is hard. Granny Smith, the kind that makes your teeth hurt when you bite it wrong, the kind that's more weapon than fruit. Shavers picks it up, looks at it, turns it, studies it the way a jeweler studies a diamond, looking for flaws, finding none. Then he closes his hand. Not quickly, slowly, with the kind of patience that makes what's coming worse. His fingers curl around the green skin. His palm engulfs it. The apple resists. For a second, maybe two. Then it makes a sound. Not a crunch, not a crack. Something worse. Something organic and violent. The sound of structure giving way to overwhelming force. The sound of something that thought it was solid, discovering it was never solid at all. Apple juice runs between his fingers. Clear at first, then cloudy with pulp. It drips onto the concrete floor. Pat, pat, pat. Little wet explosions that echo in the silence. Shavers opens his hand. The apple is pulp, mush, destroyed. Unrecognizable as the thing it was 30 seconds ago. He lets it fall to the floor. Doesn't look at it. Just wipes his hand on his sweatshirt and returns his gaze to the wall. 7 minutes and 42 seconds of absolute stillness. The door opens. Muhammad Ali walks in. He's 35 years old. But tonight, in this light, he looks older. The fluorescent buzz reveals things the camera lights hide. The slight thickness around his middle. The barely perceptible slowness in his movement. The weight he's carrying that isn't physical. He wears white satin trunks with red trim, white shoes that haven't been tied yet, a white robe that says the greatest in red cursive across the back. Words he made true through repetition and violence and will. Words that tonight feel less like fact and more like prayer. He sees Shavers immediately. How could he not? Shavers takes up space the way black holes do. Not with size, though. He's 6 foot tall and 225 pounds of fast-twitch muscle fiber, but with gravity. With the kind of presence that makes everything around it secondary. Ali sees the crushed apple on the floor. The juice spreading slowly across the concrete. The complete stillness of the man who destroyed it. For exactly 2 seconds, Muhammad Ali feels something he hasn't felt in a boxing ring since he was Cassius Clay. Pure animal fear. Not fear of losing. He's lost before, will lose again. Fear of what losing to Earnie Shavers means. Earnie Shavers doesn't just win fights, he erases them. He doesn't accumulate points or outlast opponents. He removes their consciousness from their body with a kind of finality that makes referees sprint across the ring. That makes ringside doctors scramble. That makes wives cover their children's eyes. 54 knockouts in 66 professional fights. Men dropping like someone cut their strings. Men waking up minutes later asking what round it is, what year it is, what their name is. Ali has seen the tape of the Shavers Jimmy Young fight. Watched Young, a skilled defensive boxer, hard to hit, harder to hurt, get caught with a right hand in the first round that traveled maybe 8 inches and moved his soul 3 feet backward out of his body. Watched Young somehow survive, somehow stay conscious, somehow finish the fight. Ali knows he won't be that lucky. His reflexes aren't what they were. The speed that made him impossible to hit cleanly is still there, but it's fading, like a photograph left in the sun. The image is recognizable, but the details are washing out. Ali can feel it, every morning, every training session. The fraction of a second delay between seeing and moving, the gap widening, the window closing. Against most fighters, it doesn't matter. He's still fast enough, still slick enough, still too smart and too experienced to get caught clean. But Earnie Shavers isn't most fighters. Earnie Shavers is what happens when you put all of boxing's destructive potential into one right hand and remove everything else. No jab, no footwork, no defense. Just that right hand traveling through space at a speed that makes trainers do the math and shake their heads. One punch. That's all Shavers needs. One clean connection, and Muhammad Ali, the greatest, the people's champion, the man who stopped a war by refusing to fight in one, becomes another highlight reel. Another body, folding at unnatural angles. Another career ending not with a whimper, but with the kind of bang that makes doctors write new protocols for traumatic brain injury. Ali stands in the doorway. Shavers hasn't looked at him yet, hasn't acknowledged his presence. Just keeps staring at that wall like there's a door in it, only he can see. And Muhammad Ali does what Muhammad Ali always does when he's afraid. He walks directly toward the thing that terrifies him. Not quickly, not slowly, just purposeful, confident, like he owns every room he enters. Like fear is something that happens to other people. Like he didn't just watch Earnie Shavers turn an apple into liquid with one hand. He walks until he's standing 3 feet from Shavers. The danger zone. The distance where Shavers' right hand lives. Where it does its work. Where it has turned 30 grown men into cautionary tales. Shavers finally looks at him. His eyes are dark, calm, empty of everything except purpose. This isn't personal for Shavers. It never is. He doesn't hate the men he fights. Doesn't respect them or disrespect them. They're just obstacles between him and where he needs to be. Muhammad Ali is just another obstacle. Ali smiles. Not the camera smile. Not the press conference smile that sells tickets and t-shirts and makes white America uncomfortable and black America proud. A real smile. The kind that exists in the space between confidence and madness. The kind that says, I see you. I see what you can do. And I'm still gonna stand here and talk to you like you're not the most dangerous human being I've ever shared a room with. You know what you are, Earnie? Ali's voice is quiet, almost conversational. You're a rock. A big, hard, dangerous rock sitting at the bottom of a river. Shavers doesn't respond, doesn't move, just waits. And you know what I am? Ali leans in slightly, close enough now that Shavers could hit him. Could end this conversation and this fight and possibly this life with one short right hand to the temple. I'm the wind. The fluorescent light flickers. On, off, on. The rock thinks it's permanent, thinks it's solid, thinks nothing can move it. Ali's voice gets quieter. Almost a whisper. But wind is patient. Wind doesn't fight the rock. Wind just flows around it. Over it. Through it. And given enough time. And given enough time. He pauses. The rock becomes sand. Shavers' jaw tightens. The only indication he's even listening. Then Muhammad Ali does something absolutely insane. He reaches out. His right hand. The hand that's thrown more punches than any heavyweight in history. The hand that's touched 3 heavyweight championship belts. The hand that's been x-rayed and examined and insured for more money than most people make in a lifetime. He places it on top of Earnie Shavers' bald head. Not gently, firmly, with pressure, with ownership, with the kind of audacity that only Muhammad Ali possesses. The kind of audacity that made him tell Sonny Liston he was too ugly to be champion. That made him refuse to fight in Vietnam when refusing meant prison. That made him come back from a 3-year exile and reclaim what was taken from him. The kind of audacity that looks at the hardest puncher in boxing history and says, "I'm going to touch your head now," without saying the words out loud. Shavers goes rigid. Every muscle in his body activates simultaneously. His hands clench into fists. His shoulders bunch. His legs tense, like he's about to explode upward. His eyes widen slightly, the first emotion Ali has seen in them. Rage. Pure, primal rage at the disrespect, at the violation of space, at the humiliation of being touched, being claimed by the man he came here to destroy. For exactly 3 seconds, Earnie Shavers is gonna kill Muhammad Ali. Not in the ring, right here, right now. In this green room that smells like sweat and coffee. He's going to stand up and throw that right hand at point-blank range and separate Ali's soul from his body and deal with the consequences later. Ali feels it. Feels the murder rising up in Shavers like magma. Feels how close he is to becoming another story people tell about the time someone pushed Earnie Shavers too far. But Ali doesn't move his hand, doesn't flinch, doesn't blink. Just keeps it there on Shavers' head, keeps smiling. Keeps staring into those dark eyes with a kind of fearlessness that's either genuine courage or absolutely perfect acting. "See you out there, champ," Ali says quietly. Then he removes his hand, slowly, deliberately, like he's finishing something that needed to be finished, like he's placed a mark on Shavers that can't be washed off. He turns his back. This is the most dangerous part, the part where Shavers could move, could hit him from behind, could end this before it begins. But Muhammad Ali turns his back on Earnie Shavers and walks toward the door like he's walking toward a car in a parking lot. Casual, unhurried, in complete control. He reaches the door, opens it, steps through, and starts whistling. Some melody that might be a song, or might just be noise arranged to sound like confidence. It echoes down the concrete hallway, bounces off painted cinder blocks, fades slowly like smoke. The door closes behind him. The hallway is empty. 20 feet of concrete and fluorescent lights and motivational posters that have been there so long nobody reads them anymore. Champions are made in practice. Pain is temporary. Glory is forever. Words that sound profound until you actually think about them. Muhammad Ali makes it 15 feet before his legs start shaking. Not trembling, shaking. Full earthquake shaking that starts in his knees and radiates up through his hips and his spine until his whole body is vibrating with adrenaline and fear and the terrible knowledge of what he just did. He stops walking, puts his right hand against the wall, the hand that just touched Earnie Shavers' head. It's shaking so hard he can hear his knuckles tapping against the painted cinder block. Tap, 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 like Morse code for "you almost died, you almost died, you almost died." His left hand comes up to his face, covers his eyes. His breathing is too fast, too shallow. The kind of breathing that happens when your body realizes it just survived something that could have killed it and is trying to process that information. He exhales, long and slow and shaking. All the fear he didn't show in that room coming out now that no one can see. All the terror he swallowed and transformed into confidence leaking out through his pores. In that room, he was the greatest. In this hallway, he's just Muhammad Ali, 35 years old. Too many fights, too many punches, too many years pretending he's not afraid when he's always been afraid. When fear is what made him great in the first place. Brave men don't become champions. Terrified men who fight anyway become champions. His hand slides down from his face. He looks at it, still shaking. He makes a fist, releases it, makes a fist again, trying to convince his nervous system that the danger has passed. That Shavers didn't kill him, that he survived the most dangerous 3 minutes of his career before the fight even started. Behind him, muffled through the closed door, he hears something. A voice. Earnie Shavers is laughing. Not the laugh of someone who found something funny. The laugh of someone who just realized what game is being played. Who just understood that Muhammad Ali walked into that room knowing exactly what he was doing. knowing that the psychological war is as important as the physical one, maybe more important. Ali walked in there and made Shavers think about something other than punching. Made him think about disrespect, about rage, about response, about anything except the cold, mechanical execution of his game plan. Made him human. And human beings make mistakes. Rocks don't. Wind doesn't. But human beings do. Ali's breathing slows. The shaking in his hands diminishes. Not gone. Just manageable. Just enough that he can put the mask back on. Can become the greatest again. Instead of the terrified man who just played Russian roulette with the hardest puncher in boxing history. He stands up straight. Adjusts his robe. The white satin, with the greatest in red cursive, across the back. Words he made true through repetition and violence and will. Words that tonight feel less like prayer and more like fact again. He starts walking again. Not whistling now. Just walking. Past the motivational posters. Past the water fountain that doesn't work. Past the storage room where they keep ring equipment and broken dreams. Toward the tunnel that leads to the ring. Toward 15 rounds with the most dangerous man alive. Toward another night of pretending he's not afraid. 42 minutes later. Round 7. Muhammad Ali is losing. Not on the scorecards the judges have it close, but in the way that matters. In the accumulation of damage. In the slow erosion of his ability to do what made him Muhammad Ali. Shavers has hit him clean 3 times. Not the big right hand, not the one that ends fights. Just straight right hands to the body and head that land with the sound of a baseball bat hitting a leather couch. Sounds that make the crowd gasp. Make the ringside reporters wince. Make Ali's corner look at each other with expressions that say, how many more of those can he take? Ali doesn't know. But he knows he can't take 15 rounds of them. His ribs hurt. His head hurts. His legs are heavy. Not dead yet, but tired. The kind of tired that accumulates slowly and then all at once becomes the only thing you can think about. Shavers is stalking him, cutting off the ring. Patient, methodical, rock-like. Exactly what Ali said he was. Except rocks don't throw punches that remove consciousness from bodies. Ali circles, jabs, moves. Does everything he's supposed to do. Everything that's worked for 15 years. But it's not working tonight. Not enough. Shavers is too patient, too calm, too willing to wait for the opening that Ali's aging reflexes will eventually give him. The bell rings. End of round 7. Ali walks back to his corner. His legs feel like they belong to someone else. Someone older. Someone slower. Someone whose career should have ended 3 years ago before he got talked into coming back. Angelo Dundee, his trainer, is already talking, giving instructions, telling Ali what he already knows. Move more. Jab more. Don't let Shavers set his feet. But Ali isn't listening. He's looking across the ring at Earnie Shavers sitting on his stool in the opposite corner, looking at that face that hasn't changed expression since the fight started. That same calm, that same emptiness. Except now there's something else. A flicker. Brief. Maybe imagined. But Ali swears he sees it. Uncertainty. Not in Shavers' ability. Not in his power. But in his certainty. In the absolute conviction that he's going to destroy Muhammad Ali. That's been shaken. Just slightly. Just enough. Because of that moment in the green room. Because Ali walked into the danger zone and touched him and walked away. Because Ali made Shavers angry. Made him human. Made him think about something other than cold mechanical execution. And now, 7 rounds later, that's still there. That little seed of doubt. That little crack in the rock. Ali smiles. Not for the cameras. Not for the crowd. For himself. Because he remembers what he said. Wind is patient. The bell rings for round 8. Muhammad Ali gets off his stool and goes back to work. The fight went the full 15 rounds. Ali won by unanimous decision. Not because he outpunched Earnie Shavers. Not because he hurt him, or broke him, or even really damaged him beyond some swelling and a cut above the left eye that required 3 stitches after the fight. He won because he made Shavers hesitate. Made him think. Made him human at exactly the moments when being human made him miss. Made him pull back just slightly on the big right hand. Made him second-guess the timing. Made him wonder if Muhammad Ali really was the greatest or just the greatest actor who ever lived. Turned out the answer was both. After the fight, in the locker room, a reporter asked Ali if he was ever afraid of Shavers' power. Ali, holding an ice pack to his ribs, smiled. Afraid? Man, I saw him crush an apple before the fight. One hand, turned it to juice. You know what I thought? You know what I thought. The reporter shook his head. I thought that could be my head. That could be my skull. My brain. My whole life turning to pulp on a concrete floor. So you were afraid? Terrified, Ali said. Most scared I've been in a boxing ring since Liston. So why'd you walk up to him? Why'd you touch his head? That's the most dangerous thing I've ever seen. Muhammad Ali's smile got wider, because that's when he was supposed to hit me. Right then, right there, in that green room, with no cameras, and no referees, and no consequences except what he chose to live with. And he didn't. He thought about it. I felt him thinking about it. His whole body got ready to do it, but he didn't. Ali leaned forward, ice pack dripping water onto the floor. The moment he chose not to kill me in that room was the moment I knew I could beat him in the ring, because The Rock started thinking, started being human, started wondering if maybe the wind really could wear it down to sand. The reporter wrote this down. All of it, word for word. 3 days later, Earnie Shavers was asked about the green room incident. He smiled. The first time most reporters had seen him smile. Ali's crazy, Shavers said. Absolutely crazy. Walked right up to me, touched my head. I was going to kill him. Was really going to do it. Had my whole body ready. What stopped you? Shavers thought about this for a long time. He was smiling. Shavers said finally, looking right at me and smiling like he knew exactly what I was thinking and didn't care. Like he'd already won some game I didn't know we were playing. Did that affect the fight? Every time I set up the big right hand, every time I had him where I wanted him, I'd see that smile. See him standing there in that green room touching my head like I was nothing. Like I couldn't hurt him. Shavers shook his head. Made me hesitate. Just a fraction. Just enough that he'd move or clinch or do something that made the punch miss. A fraction of a second. That's all it took. Do you think you would have won if that hadn't happened? Earnie Shavers looked at the reporter the way he looked at opponents across the ring. I know I would have, but that's boxing. The fight starts long before the first punch. Ali understood that better than anyone. What no one knew until years later. After the fight, after the interviews, after the crowds and the lights and the celebration, Muhammad Ali went back to his hotel room alone, sat on the edge of the bed, and cried. Not from pain, though his body hurt in ways that would take weeks to heal. From relief, from the terrible, overwhelming relief of having survived another night, another 15 rounds, another dance with permanent damage disguised as sport. From knowing that eventually, maybe not tonight, but eventually, his luck would run out. His reflexes would slow just a little bit more. His ability to make dangerous men hesitate would fade. And some younger, harder, faster version of Earnie Shavers would do what Shavers couldn't quite do tonight. Would turn his head to pulp. His hands were shaking again. Not from adrenaline this time. From the exhaustion of being Muhammad Ali. Of being the greatest. Of walking into rooms with the hardest punchers alive and making them think twice. Of being terrified every single time and never letting anyone see it. He looked at his hands. Scarred knuckles. Swollen fingers. Hands that had touched 3 heavyweight championship belts. Hands that had refused to hold a rifle. Hands that had touched Earnie Shavers' head and survived the consequences. Hands that were shaking. Because brave men don't become champions. Terrified men who fight anyway become champions. And Muhammad Ali was both. The question at the end, when you're terrified, really, deeply terrified, do you run or do you walk directly toward the thing that scares you? Do you avoid the Earnie Shavers in your life, or do you walk into the room and touch his head? Because here's what Muhammad Ali understood that night in Madison Square Garden. The fight isn't won in the ring. It's won in the green room, in the hallway. In the moment when you're shaking and terrified and convinced you're about to die, but you put on the mask anyway. It's won in the 3 feet between you and the most dangerous thing you've ever faced. It's won when you smile at the thing that wants to destroy you and make it hesitate. Make it human. Make it wonder if maybe, just maybe, you really are the greatest. Not because you're not afraid, but because you are and you do it anyway. That's the difference between courage and fearlessness. Fearlessness is easy. It's just stupidity in a prettier package. Courage is being terrified and touching the monster's head anyway. What room are you avoiding right now? What Earnie Shavers is sitting in your green room waiting for you to walk in? And more importantly, when you finally walk through that door, because eventually you will have to, will you stand 3 feet away in the danger zone? Or will you do what Muhammad Ali did? Will you walk right up to it, put your hand on its head, and make it hesitate just long enough for you to win a fight that starts 45 minutes before the bell rings? Because that's where legends are made. Not in the moment of victory. In the moment of terror, when you choose to walk toward it anyway. In the green room, where the only sound is the hum of a vending machine and the crushing of an apple and the terrible, beautiful silence of 2 men who both know what's coming. The wind and the rock. And 45 minutes later, one of them becomes sand,